Hello lovely people, apologies if it's a little bit echoey. I can't do anything about it, it's the room that I'm currently in. But I'm currently in London again. I know, crazy times. I spent so much time down in here this past month. But today I'm here to speak about Operation Mincemeat again because I took advantage of something that they do at the start of every week, which is to put some seats available for £20 whole. If you want to know what my opinion on these £20 seats are, they're not seats, spoiler alert, then stick around and I'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. The secret of these £20 seats is that they are not actually seats. Get my words out. At the start of every week, for at least, I believe it's Monday, Tuesday, please don't quote me on this, their standing seats, standing spaces are £20 whole. The great thing about, or the great thing and the not so great thing about Operation Mincemeat is that their ticket prices are the same for each performance. So say yesterday when I saw it, standing was £20 or seated anywhere was $39.50. It does get pricier as the week progresses through. For example, I went to see it the first time round on a Saturday afternoon and the price of that ticket was £79.50. There is also the lottery that they run every 2 weeks, I believe. You put your name into the lottery hat, if you will, and the powers and internet that be decide who will win the lottery, and then you can get £25 tickets for selected performances. But enough of that, and if any of my information I've just given out is incorrect, then please feel free to write it in the comments down below for everyone else to know. But this is all about what standing is like, because I have never experienced seeing a show like this from standing. And it was something I was like, shall I not? I kind of wanted to return to Operation Mincemeat, even though it's only really been like a month and a half, 2 months since I last saw it, just because I love it so much. And when I went to look at the tickets for the Tuesday matinee, which is where I went, I was greeted by quite a lot of full seats. And I think there was 1 space in the stalls, or there is a few spaces in standing. And I'd asked a few people, not many people had experienced it, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to experience it, and I'm also going to film a video about it because why not? So here is my opinions on standing. Firstly, the question that I've been asked a few times since I went to see the show, because I actually saw a show in the evening, saw a few people I knew, told them I'd done standing. So standing at the Fortune is at the back of the upper circle, so to get to standing you have to climb a few stairs. It's quite steep to get up there, and it is quite narrow staring. It is like an old small theatre, as we've talked about in the past with the toilets. So you get yourself all the way up to upper circle. The lovely person who scanned my ticket at the bottom on entry was like, there is a bar up on upper circle, so maybe see if you can find a seat and enjoy that rest for the last like 10 minutes before the show, which I did. So grateful for that. Then upon entering the upper circle level, you are greeted with the main kind of gangway which goes the whole stretch of the upper circle level at the top, where there is, excuse me, where there is a shop, a small kind of shop stand at the end, and also the gents toilet. And then you have the upper circle seating to your left, and that gangway at the top is in fact a way stand. So by the time I made my way into the auditorium, which was about 10 minutes before the start of the show, because I just wanted to embrace that seat for as long as physically possible even, you can just take any space on the standing area. I did go up to the person at the stall at the top just to check. I was like, for standing, is it you can stand anywhere? Because when you book your tickets, you kind of pick a number, so it's like standing 1 to I think 12. I was standing 9, so I was like, do I need to look for a number 9 on the floor somewhere? Not the case. You basically pitch up your tent, so to speak, and stick yourself where you want to sit or stand. So I went kind of middling to right side, which I think is kind of where I put myself when I clicked the standing button. And view-wise, and I will try and put some footage into my one side because I filmed it in portrait, apologies everybody, but as you hopefully can see, the view is pretty good. You may miss like the first 5 inches of the front of the stage, but if you've seen Mincemeat before, you know it's all quite central. There is nothing that you're going to miss in that regard. A few times when they went kind of towards the front of the stage, including when the submarine crew release their cargo. I don't want to ruin it if people haven't seen it. When they release their cargo and they will stand at the front of the stage and they look down at it, the entirety, I want to say, of the upper circle did lean forward to see if they're missing anything. They're not, but for that brief period we kind of couldn't see anything at the front of the stage anyway because everyone was leaning forwards. But view-wise, it was pretty damn decent for £20 for standing. I didn't find it uncomfortable. There was a rail that we could lean on, which was kind of connected to the back row of the upper circle. So I didn't want to lean like fully on it for the entire show because I was aware that there was a person like that close, probably about that close to me, and I didn't want to like be breathing down their neck for the whole show. So I kind of got a bit creative with how I was standing. Sometimes I was kind of balancing on one side of my body, sometimes I was like full central and sometimes I was the other side. There was time to stretch, and if you wanted to move around while standing, that was fine, as long as you weren't blocking any exits or any like stairs, etc. There is the area to move around. The one downside I found, and this is just me being me, embracing this show, if you've seen the show, at the end after the bows, the cast do kind of a jump finish, so to speak, and because, as everyone should, was on their feet giving a standing ovation for the performance, I unfortunately missed that jump. I missed most of the bows unless I moved over to the one side where there was space and where the stairs were, because once people start standing up in front of you when they're in their seats, you kind of lose your view. Obviously, for the majority of the show, that's not a problem. Everyone who is seated applauding, well, as they should. But the moment that that audience in front of you who are seated stand up, you have lost everything. And I am 5'7", so I'm not short. I am relatively tall. And yeah, at the moment they all stood up, I was a goner. Luckily I moved over to the one side to see the end of the bows, because the two gentlemen who were stood next to me had snuck into the back row seats for the last like half an hour of the show, because they were free and nobody stopped them. So I just took their space. But yeah, it is something to be aware of. The moment people stand, you have lost your view. Sad face. But yeah, they are my thoughts and feelings on standing. I would possibly do it again. I quite enjoyed having the chance to kind of tap my feet and wiggle my hips a little bit on some of the more upbeat, like poppy songs. I mean, I could have totally had a good dance during Das Übermensch. Could have, didn't. But yeah, I enjoyed that I could move around a bit and have the freeness to stretch when I needed to stretch. It wasn't uncomfortable up there. And yeah, if you are thinking about it, or you are debating, or the performance you want to see is pretty full apart from standing, I would actually quite recommend these seats, or this standing. If it wasn't for the Bridge Theatre and having Guys and Dolls there, I don't know if I'd even like thought about standing, but it wasn't uncomfortable. The show isn't particularly long. It's about 2 hours 20, 30, I believe. I could be completely wrong, but the time goes by really quick. The cast on stage, again, was excellent. I pretty much got the same cast as I got the first time around. It's just my lot in life to see Holly Sumpton do Ewan Montague over and over again, which I have no qualms about because I love her. But yeah, that is pretty much that. I am going to leave this video here. If you have any questions and I haven't answered anything, or I've missed something out, then please leave them in the comments, along with if you want to correct me very politely. Please don't have a shouting match because I will cry. If I have said anything incorrectly, then please leave it down below. That is my experience in standing at Operation Mincemeat. So yeah, I hope this is a helpful video, and now I'm gonna go and have a hot drink because my throat is really hurting this morning. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. Air conditioning and screaming last night at a show. Anyway, right, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. I hated saying that, but it came out too quick. Right, I love you all lots. I hopefully will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.